Hi, my loves. Hi, my loves. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Evie, life and confidence coach and business mentor, and so excited to be here with you all. Welcome back to the YouTube video studio, rather, if you're watching the YouTube video. And hello, OG podcast listeners who are audio only. I love you. I see you. If you're watching the video, though, you'll see I'm in this beautiful fur or false fur leopard print coat. And it is so Evie, and it is so me, and it's so fitting for today's conversation. And I actually just wanted to wear this morning. Like, my soul just dressed me, my authentic magic just dressed me this morning. And it's so interesting that, of course, I didn't actually know what I was going to speak about on the podcast today, but of course, topics of soul connection and topics of authenticity just keep coming up for me. And this is really what I wanted to speak about on the show today. So anyway, we'll dive in a moment, but I just love that this is so fitting and it makes me smile, and it's like, of course. And it's just, I think this is actually a really great example of so much that I want to speak about today, is that we don't always know the answers looking ahead. Like, our logical mind wants to know exactly what's going to happen today and how is it going to unfold and all of these things. It wants the roadmap, right? But if we tune in and if we trust ourselves, if we trust our soul, if we trust our intuition, then our soul always knows. Our soul always knows the way. Our job and the real work is actually learning to trust it, to let go and to fully trust. So let's dive into the convo, because we're already well and truly into the juicy convo today. Now, let me bring up the quote for today. I wanted to share this one with you. I feel like I've almost already shared it. The work isn't to find the way, it's to remember that your soul has always known the way. The work isn't to find the way, it's to remember that your soul has always known the way. It's always known the way. And yeah, I think that's so fitting for our conversation today, and my experience this morning dressing myself for the day, not knowing what I was going to wear, but then thinking, I want to wear my leopard print coat. Like, I freaking love my leopard print coat. It's so me. It's so authentically me. But do you know what? True story. There have been moments along my lifetime, like, this has been in my wardrobe for years. I actually bought this in London when I was traveling around in 2017. Yes, 2017. That was a long time ago. And obviously it's one of those coats that you just like last forever and you keep, and you don't wear all the time. But there's certainly been times where I'm like, oh, I just love that leopard print coat. I would love to wear it. But sometimes, and I have to admit this, that sometimes there's been moments where I'm like, is that too much? Are people going to think I'm a little bit too much? Is that a little bit too out there? Are people going to be like, whoa, who's this girl in the leopard print coat? But do you know what? And it saddens me to say this, but I'm just keeping it real, because there are moments when our head wants to take over and be like, oh, maybe you should wear the safe option, or maybe you should wear something a little bit more understated, or, you know, whatever. You let the chitter chat in your mind take over and make decisions for you. But, you know, there's so many times where I'm like, no, fuck it, I want to wear the leopard print coat. And so I'm going to wear it. I love that, and I'm going to rock it. So yeah, little fun story about that. But I think that that's a good example of actually just trusting your soul and trusting your authentic magic, and how you want to express yourself, how you want to dress yourself, how you want to show up, what you want to create, what you want to say, etc. And not letting our minds take over and go into the shoulds and the shouldn'ts and all the, you know, being sensible in business and blah, 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 blah. Like, no. I've talked about this a bit on the podcast recently, but I honestly think that's such a key to success in business and success in life, is really to trust yourself and to be unapologetically your most authentic self, truly to be unapologetically your most authentic self. Now, let me bring me back to my notes, because there was a few different points that I really wanted to share today. But ultimately, I think I want to just firstly, there's so much wisdom that your soul can offer us. There's so much wisdom that your soul can offer us. Oh my goodness. And I just want to just recap a wee bit. Remember, soul is intuition. Soul is authenticity. And authenticity is essentially soul in action. Authenticity is soul in action. I think that's a really, really like powerful one. I've never really thought about it in that way. And it just came to me this morning and I was like, that's it. That's like the perfect way of putting it, is like when you're your most authentic self, when you're true to yourself, when you're, expressing yourself the way that you want to express it, when you're dressing yourself the way that you want to be dressed, when you cut your hair off, as I have recently, the way that you want to. And less about the shoulds and the shouldn'ts and more just like fully trusting and being your most authentic self. Like that is soul. That is soul in action. So your soul has so much wisdom to give, right? There's so much beauty and wisdom to give there. And remember, soul is going to feel different. It's often not that loud chitter-chatter voice. Often, sometimes it's not even got words. It's a feeling. It's like I want to wear that. I feel this. No, that feels off. There's something not quite right there. And your job is always to tune into that and learn to trust it. Remember what I first opened with is that your soul always knows the way forward. It always knows. Our minds want the 10-step plan. Our minds want the roadmap. Our minds want the exact do this, do this, do this. Yeah, the logical plan. Because ultimately it wants to keep us safe, right? But our soul always knows. And so your job is always going to be to trust it. So tuning into your intuition, spending time in stillness, spending time in meditation, and really connecting inwards is going to be the greatest gift that you can give yourself. And if you're wanting to express more of your most authentic self, if you're wanting to bring more of your authentic magic into your business, if you want to bring back your soul sparkle, what I like to call it, and really feel more connected to your soul, more connected to your spirit guides, more connected to your spirit team, more connected in general, then this is the way forward. And you really need to spend time in stillness and spend time connecting inwards and learning to trust and listen to the little whispers of your soul, the little nudges that it's nudging you or calling you to do, or that pull that you feel towards something, even and especially when it doesn't always make sense. That's the hard part, right? Is that it doesn't always make sense, and it probably won't always make sense. And that's the whole thing. We can't see that 10-step plan that our mind wants, but our soul knows. And you have to learn to trust that. So there's so much wisdom that your soul has to offer us. And so that's the biggest thing that I would share here, is that when you find yourself wanting to look outside of yourself for the answers, you're seeking the guidance, you're wanting to know the questions, you're comparing yourself to others, you're doubting yourself, you're not listening and trusting your intuition, that's when you know, okay, I need to dial that down and tune in within instead. It's about really finding your own answers. It's about feeling into what feels right, what feels like a hell yes to you, what feels like a contraction versus an expansion. Contraction like, oh, icky, tight, something's off there, doesn't feel quite right, versus expansion like, oh, yes, excitement. I feel so drawn to that. I feel so alive. I feel so lit up right now. Those are huge clues that you're on the right track, and to listen to that and act on it accordingly. Like that's your job, is to act on it accordingly. So your job is to trust it, right? Is like, and I think this is the thing, is that we get scared that if we don't know the 10-step plan, then I'm going to muck it up, that or something bad's going to happen. Yeah, like we get scared, right? That we want to know the 10-step plan because we want to keep ourselves safe. And we're scared of making mistakes, or we're scared of like saying yes to something and it maybe not quite eventuating into the outcome that we thought we wanted, or it's not the outcome, it's not the thing that we really wanted. But that's the whole part of it, right? Is that we actually don't know exactly what that is until we're in it and doing it, which is the hardest thing of all, right? But that is so important. Like, we can just never know sometimes the answers, and we can just never know sometimes the people that we're meant to meet, the connections that we're meant to build, the spaces that we're meant to be in, the things that are meant to happen along the way as part of our journey. We couldn't even write this script, right? We couldn't even write the book. We're co-authors of our lives, right? But there's a huge part of play here of surrendering to the divine guidance, to the universe, to the powers that be, to what feels right and aligned to you. And that's one of, I think, like the work, right? Because it's harder in many ways, although easy in many ways too, but oftentimes it's harder to resist the mind, the ego's want and desire for control and micromanaging the universe. But if you can lean into surrender and trusting your soul, that's what true authenticity is. That's what true living in alignment really is. And that's when it actually becomes more effortless and easeful, is when we have that level of trust in ourselves and our soul and our intuition, and with the greater universe, with the greater powers that be, with our spirit teams, our guides, then that's, oh my goodness, that's true living. That's when you've become magnetic. That's when wonderful opportunities come your way, like all of those beautiful things. But really, really your job is to live true to you, is to live as your most authentic self and to follow your intuition and your nudges. So let this be your reminder. You know, as I said, authenticity is soul in action. So if you want a practical, tangible way of looking at how can I feel more connected to my soul, how can I bring my soul sparkle back, how can I really trust my soul knows the way, it is to listen to your authenticity and to listen to your intuition. Just as I did this morning. What do I want to dress? How do I want to dress, rather? What do I want to wear? What makes me feel alive? What do I feel really drawn to? What am I excited about? Like, what are the little nudges that I'm feeling within telling me, trying to tell me? Or what are the little soul whispers that I'm trying to tell that my intuition's trying to tell me here? And if you aren't already, I would really highly recommend that you spend some time in stillness, have a meditation practice, use oracle cards, connect with your spirit team in whatever way feels right and true for you, but to devote some time to that and be really consistent with that, because that is going to be the greatest gift to start to dial down mind, chitter chatter, ego, inner critic, etc., and really start to tune into your soul's voice and to your intuition. And honestly, it's the greatest gift that you can give yourself, and it can never lead you astray. So I hope that's a powerful, punchy, hard-hitting one. I hope there's some beautiful nuggets of wisdom in there, or maybe just a really good reminder. Some of you might need to hear this reminder from time to time about living with soul, living with intuition, and really remembering that an authentic life and truly living in alignment is soul in action, is living with soul, is living with your intuition. And let your authenticity be a way to express more of your soul and to live more in soul alignment. I think that's a really beautiful, beautiful gift of this. So my loves, go forth, go well. I would love to hear your feedback and take on this one. As always, the best conversations happen after the podcast episode, in DMs and messages, etc. So flick them my way. I would love to hear from you.